They told you it was over, that you missed your shot, that healing takes years and second chances are rare. But here's the truth no one talks about. With God, redemption doesn't run on deadlines. The clock you keep watching, He's not using it. You're not too broken. You're not too late. What feels like the end might actually be the exact place your silent transformation begins. This isn't about fixing everything. It's about starting something new, right where you are. So if you've ever felt stuck, behind, or secretly disqualified, this message is for you, because faith and redemption don't need a perfect past. They just need your yes, today. And maybe that yes will be the moment your healing journey truly begins. The soil of healing is often broken ground. Sometimes life just hits you all at once. One thing falls apart, then another, and suddenly it feels like everything you built is gone. It's like you're standing in the ruins of what used to make sense. But here's the twist. Broken ground is where new things grow. In silent redemption, we learn that falling apart might be the first step toward real spiritual healing. Because sometimes, God starts His work at rock bottom. Think about this. Ever heard of kintsugi? It's the Japanese art of fixing broken pottery with gold. The cracks become part of the beauty, not something to hide. That's what faith and redemption look like. In your own healing journey, those emotional cracks, the heartbreak, the failure, the trauma, they don't disqualify you. They become part of your silent transformation, showing that grace is stronger than perfection. Here's something simple but powerful. Write a letter to your future self. Tell them what you're going through right now. Then fold it, hide it, and forget it for a while. One day you'll read it again and realize how far you've come. That letter might be the start of your emotional healing, a quiet moment of inner peace in the middle of the mess. And maybe, just maybe, it's the first bloom in your redemption story. You're not behind. You're right on Grace's time. One of the sneakiest lies we tend to believe is, it's too late for me. Maybe it sounds like, I've made too many mistakes, or I should have started sooner, or I missed my chance. But God doesn't operate on your calendar. Grace doesn't check your age or your timing. In silent redemption, faith and redemption unfold on heaven's schedule. Sometimes God shows up when everyone else has already given up. Moses was in his 80s when God called him. Sarah laughed at the promise because she thought it was way too late. But God isn't concerned with convenient timing. The truth is, spiritual healing often starts when we're convinced we're too far gone. That's when the healing journey gets real, when your doubt is louder than your faith, but you choose to move anyway. Delay doesn't cancel destiny. It just deepens dependence. Here's something to try. Think of a moment in your life you once saw as a dead end. Write down 3 things you learned from it. You may discover that what felt like a detour was actually divine direction. Like it says in Joel 2:25, I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. That's not a metaphor. That's a promise. Your silent transformation might be unfolding right now, even if it doesn't look like it yet. Your story is still sacred, even with cracks. Scars aren't something to hide. They're signs you made it. They tell stories of battles survived, of emotional healing that came after chaos. We live in a world that filters pain and calls it strength. But silent redemption invites you to bring your real story. Because healing isn't about pretending it never hurt. It's about standing up anyway, cracks and all, and saying, I'm still here. Jesus didn't hide his scars. He showed them. They were proof of love, not shame. That's the heartbeat of faith and redemption, using what once hurt you to heal others. Your healing journey isn't just about recovery, it's about legacy. Those moments that nearly broke you may become someone else's map out of the dark. That's how redemption stories multiply. One scar, one step, one testimony at a time. Want to do something meaningful today? Write down 3 things you've survived: heartbreak, betrayal, burnout, whatever marked you. Then ask, who needs to hear this? That small act can awaken your inner peace and maybe spark a spiritual awakening in someone else. Your silent transformation isn't wasted. It's being planted. And even scars can bloom if you stop hiding them. You don't need strength. You need movement. Rebuilding your life can feel like standing in front of rubble with nothing but your bare hands. No help, no plan, just exhaustion and a whisper of hope. But silent redemption teaches us something powerful. You don't need to be strong, you just need to move. The first brick is always the hardest, especially when your hands are shaking. But even shaky hands can build sacred things. Christian motivation isn't about being ready. It's about showing up anyway. Maybe rebuilding looks like reapplying for that job, texting someone you hurt, or walking back into church after years away. Maybe it's just reading one verse today. The point is, healing doesn't wait for perfect conditions. Your healing journey moves forward when you do. With fear, with tears, with faith. Here's something you can try right now. Write down 3 things you'd rebuild in your life if fear wasn't in the way. A relationship, your health, your faith. Pick one. Take the smallest step possible toward it today. That step may be invisible to others, but it marks the start of your silent transformation. Remember Nehemiah. He rebuilt a city with rubble. You can rebuild a life with what's left. Survival is a sacred kind of success. Sometimes proof that you're still in the fight is as simple as this. You're still breathing. You got out of bed. You answered that message. You cried in silence but kept going. That's not weakness. That's spiritual strength. In silent redemption, we learn that not giving up is one of the loudest forms of faith. Faith and redemption don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper, "You're not done yet." You won't always get applause for the small wins. Brushing your hair after a hard week, going to therapy, forgiving someone who never apologized. But heaven notices. The healing journey isn't measured by perfection. It's measured by movement. Those quiet decisions you make daily. To stay, to hope, to try again, are the seeds of your silent transformation. Small doesn't mean insignificant. Try this. At the end of your day, write down one quiet victory. Just one. Maybe you drank water instead of shutting down. Maybe you said no to something unhealthy. Over time, this habit grows into a visible redemption story. As Philippians 1-6 reminds us, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion." You're still in process. And that's enough to keep going. What would change if you truly believed he's not done? What if the pieces you're holding right now are more than enough to rebuild something holy? What if God isn't asking you to fix everything, just to start again, differently? Silent. Redemption reminds us that healing rarely feels perfect. It often looks messy, quiet, even invisible. But faith and redemption don't need noise. They just need a yes. You don't have to feel whole to move forward. You don't need a 5-step plan to believe again. All it takes is a moment, a decision, the kind no one sees but heaven celebrates. Your healing journey doesn't require you to be fearless, just willing. Willing to breathe again, willing to write, willing to feel. And that willingness might just be the beginning of your spiritual awakening. So here's the real question. What would shift in your life if you truly believed He's not done with you? What if today is not the end, but the quiet beginning of something sacred? Subscribe to Silent Redemption for more redemption stories, practical Christian motivation, and the healing tools your soul's been waiting for. You're not too late. You're right on Grace's time. So let me ask you, what's one thing you've been waiting to fix before you start again? What if that delay is the very thing stealing your healing? The truth is, silent redemption begins not when everything is ready, but when you decide to say yes, even if nothing feels ready. Are you willing to take one step today? To believe again, even quietly? Your spiritual healing doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be real. Drop a comment and share. What small victory did you have today? Let others see the seeds of your redemption story. And if this message stirred something inside you, don't let it pass. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with us on this healing journey, because you're not done, and here, you're not alone.